It's your girl Melly. It's your girl Melly. It's your girl Melly. So, if you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Melanie Ramlin, and if you're not new, hey boy, hey girl, welcome back. So, I know you guys saw my last video I did, which I uploaded very recently. I did struggles as a Christian. And then I was like, okay, I want to do this video, but how am I going to do this video? I need to do, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to start a whole series. I'm going to do a series on dating as a Christian woman, as a Christian boy, what we would like to know, what we think we should know, and things that I've learned personally. So this is going to be a whole new series. It's not going to just be one video. I'm going to be bringing new topics as time goes by. So our first topic for the day, yes, is the big S, people. It's the big S. Let's talk about sex. Woo! Yeah, I know. I'm like, you're probably like looking at me like, sex? You're going to talk about sex? Yes, I am. Why? Because there's no harm in saying that as a Christian woman, a lot of people say that, oh, you should, well, no, not a lot of Christian people. Let me rephrase my sentence. A lot of people say, well, you have to wait for God to send the right one, or you have to wait for the right person to come along and whatnot. I agree with all of that. However, temptation is very real. Temptation is very real, and some people, we fall into temptation and we don't get to make it till our wedding night as virgins. And I'm here to tell you, it's okay. It is okay. You messed up, whatever, but it's okay. We all make mistakes. We all fall short daily. So, I don't see a reason why we should judge you if you had premarital sex. Why? If you had it, you had it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, well, then you're going to hell because you had premarital sex. Sorry if I'm kind of squinting. I'm coming up close because I'm facing the sunlight and I cannot see nothing on this device here that I'm filming on. So yes, back to my topic. So yeah, my topic is Dating 101 is the new series. I should say Dating 101. Bam. And then our first episode of the series is let's talk about sex. And I was thinking like, why Mel's like, why didn't you just say, well, let's talk about love, or let's talk about dating and the whole. I was like, no, let's talk about sex, because a lot of young women and young men, I think in the church it needs to be spoken about, and not just like the biblical part, but the raw truth. We need the raw truth, because if we don't hear about it from you, we go out and we learn about it on our own, whether it's through peers, conversation, whether it's through music and whatnot. And sometimes we don't even necessarily entertain the conversation, but because people are around us are having the conversation, yeah, we could get up and we can walk away, or we could still listen to the music. But at the same time, is that really, like, people are gonna think like we're very pompous, very proud, and that you're like, oh, so you don't want to talk about sex because you're holy. It's not that. We know the struggle is real, people. The struggle is real. Sex is something that every young woman or man thinks about from the age 13 or 14 going up, until they lose their virginity or not. And it's something that we are curious about, and it's okay to be curious about it. I'm going to tell you why. Because the Bible spoke about it. God designed it for us. So it's, of course, we're going to be curious about something that God designed. Because if you're like me, you're curious about everything He designed. He made us from dust. So of course I'm going to be curious about this thing, sex. because it's like everyone's saying that it's something nice, you get pleasure from it and whatnot. Everybody have different experiences. So I'm just gonna go through some of my like questions that I had, and I had how I got my answers and whatnot. So I was taken to Songs of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 4. It's gonna sound like a whole sermon, but it's not. I'm going to try to keep it lively as possible. Yeah. So in that script it says, "Daughter of Jerusalem, I charge you, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires." When I read that, I was like, "Whoa, that's different." Like, do not arouse love or awaken it until it so desires. And it's true, because sometimes we go into something and then later on we wish we never went into it, because it's like, oh my god, why did I make that decision? Why did I do that? And and then my other questions, like, what is celibacy? What is abstinence? And like, are they both the same? And so like, what I came to find out was celibacy is a state of abstaining from marriage and sexual relations, and abstinence is a practice of restraining oneself from indulging in something, typically alcohol or sex. I'll put it up on the screen somewhere. So yeah, so like, this is me now. I'm like, so celibacy is like, you decide that you will not get married, not have sex. So the celibacy is what like nuns and priests would do, and abstinence is something that we as Christians should do before we get married and after we get married. It's gonna sound really bad, but all bets are off. Anyhow, so but then like, how do we control our sexual urges? Because as Christian men and women, being abstinent for a very long while, after a while you get fed up. After a while you get tired. After a while you're like, I just want to get this over with and done. But how do we control our urges? So first of all, we have to understand what sex is. And in order to understand what sex is, we need to hit the Bible. That holy book speaks about it. We need to understand that he designed it, because sex is it's like a marriage. It's like marriage, because that's why he designed it for married couples. Because you're married by law and you're married on paper, but sex is two spirits marrying one another through sexual intercourse. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So, and then like, first of all, when you understand God's design for sex, secondly, you have to prepare yourself for the battle. Because once you begin to get curious about it, the temptation is going to come and the urges are going to be amped up, because the devil is going to play on that. And because one of the things the Bible says, flee sexual immorality. So that devil is going to try all how to make us fall into sexual immorality. Once he gets us to do sin, that's the end of it. But however, sex is not a sin. God made it, but once you're doing it in God's will and how God wants it to be done, it's not a sin. I understood that. So you have to prepare yourself for the battle. You have to prepare yourself, and you have to make the choice. Either you're going to fight or you're going to flee. And when I mean fight or flee, I don't mean like literally fight the urges, or like flee, like literally run from any sort of physical contact with anybody. I mean it. No. When I mean make the choice to fight is like, if you're for instance, you're with a group of friends and they're going to bring up the topic sex, and if you're not in a place mentally prepared to fight that battle of like hearing what they have to say, listen to what they have to say. It's your choice. You can stay there, you can listen, but sometimes that just makes your urges get more crazy. I don't know if you guys understand where I'm going. That just makes your urges get more crazy, and temptation is real. As a man, as a woman, the temptation is real, and it gets difficult, especially hearing experience people speak about it, because they're going to say it was nice, it was pleasurable, all of these things, and you're like, well, I don't know. So, and then you're going to want to hear more, and when you want to hear more, then you'll want to experience it for yourself. So it's up to your decision right there to fight it. As in, you can say, well, you can ask them to change the topic, you can change the topic on your own or not. And then the next thing is flee. Right, flee. So when I mean flee, I don't mean like literally run away. But no, flee as in, like, if your friends bring it up around you, you can tell them, well, like, you're not really comfortable with having that kind of conversation right now with in your spiritual walk. Two, if you have to like block out like the books, the movies, the songs that are playing so that you won't get tempted, do so. Do not be ashamed to do so. I personally, sometimes we were watching a movie and unexpectedly a sex scene would come up. I would like change the channel, I would fast forward it so it moves on, because I don't want to entertain that thought into my brain, and then my brain is stuck on that. And when my brain gets stuck on that, now when I'm by myself, it's my subconscious or the enemy is going to use that to bring it back up, and these urges going to come, and I now don't know how to deal with that. I'm going to get myself in trouble. Make victory easier. So I would say, when I say make victory easier, is like, you you if you know that it's gonna, like, if you're hanging around a certain type of friends that only speak on sex and nothing that is like edifying to your soul, nothing to uplift you, build you up, motivate you. Everything that they say, speak, everything that comes out of their mouth is sex. Well, then I would really say they have to go, because you don't have to cut them off forever, but until you're strong enough in your walk with Christ where you can be amongst them and not be bothered by the conversation, then so you could probably give them a break. The fifth one is get an accountability partner. This is very, very serious, and it is the most important one, and it is the best thing you could do for yourself as a Christian woman and a Christian man, when you get yourself an accountability partner. So it could be like your mentor, it could be someone that you look up to, someone that you can go to without feeling shame and guilt or embarrassed to say something. So I have an accountability partner, and I will speak to her and I tell them, listen, like, I'm not feeling my best right now, and like and they will speak with me. They will let me know it's okay to feel like that, and they would speak to me, and they would try to take my mind off of it. They would like, motivate me to move on, to not give in. Basically, they'll be my brother or my sister's keeper. So that's what we're doing, because we need an accountability partner. So if you happen to fall into sin or you give in to temptation, you can go to that person, and there'll be no judgment on their part. An accountability I can't speak. An accountability partner is one that loves you despite all your flaws, imperfections. I know that's like what I'm speaking about, but this person is one that that even if you mess up, they're still going to be there. The sixth one, pray. I can't tell you how much praying has helped me, because I like, I'll be like, God, I give it to you. God, this whole situation, these urges, temptations, I give it to you because I can't handle it on my own. And it's okay. It's okay to pray and tell God. He knows already, so it's okay to pray and tell Him. I'm not myself and avoid emotionally filled, sexually charged situation. I cannot expound on this any more than just saying avoid it completely. These situations leads to problems. They lead to problems. So I'm not going to say well, you can't hang out with a guy or what. I'm not going to tell you that. All I'm going to tell you is stay away from the sexually, emotionally charged situation. Once emotion kicks up, sexual situation kicks up, you're going to get yourself in a jam. And once your emotion starts to play, your sometimes our what's the word I'm looking for? Our sense of judgment flies out the window. Yeah, let me just say that. And then when you fall into that, sometimes we we have regrets because it's like I didn't want to do that, but I was so caught up in my emotions. I absolutely hear this all the time. I was caught up in my emotions. It's okay. You were caught up in your emotions. It's okay. Behold, God can make you a new thing. But if you want to be abstinent until marriage, my advice is avoid it at all completely. And then number 8, last one, staying active and doing this. No, I can't even speak. Staying active and doing things that are good for you. So what I mean doing things that are good for you, I mean like, you pick up a new hobby, you try something that you've never done before, you start to exercise, you start to work out, you try to, you occupy your time with charities, volunteer work, community service, church, you volunteer at church or whatnot. You find ways and things to do to occupy your time, so you don't just constantly sit and dwell on that. When am I going to have sex? So you find things to occupy your time, keep yourself busy, keep yourself going. That way you won't sit and have idle thoughts. And a lot of people be like, so like some common questions that I was speaking with a friend, and we both said that we were both speaking, and we were like, we're getting older, and we're like, when is our husband going to come, and all of these things, because these are things that girls think of, like especially girls that have been keeping themselves, girls that have been like in the church and whatnot. Nothing wrong with the girls that have not been keeping themselves. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like the girls that have been like really like not risk takers. They're too scared to take a risk because they're afraid of their emotions and their pent up energy, that they're not going to do anything about it. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some girls out there that they would rather stay in a bubble in a shell, because it's like I can't risk doing something that would cause harm to me, my mental health, my walk with Christ and whatnot. So because there are physical consequences of premarital sex, and there are sexual love. Of course, there are sexual consequences. There are spiritual consequences of premarital sex. Of course, the physical consequences are, like unwanted pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, abortion, STIs, HIV/AIDS, regrets, guilt, depression, and suicidal deaths and whatnot. Because and that's like physical and emotional, because some people, they do it and they regret it, and then because they can't face themselves, they can't face their families, they try to take their life. or they succeed in taking their life. And I'm not an advocate for someone committing suicide. I'm all about mental health. I'm all about being healthy. Depression is something that comes, and when it comes, it comes with stress. It comes with it brings up a whole lot of emotions that sometimes a human being can't deal with, and we can give in to depression, and most cases when you give in to depression, it leads to suicide or trying to take your life. So I experienced depression once. I experienced it twice. I went through it just very recently, and it's very difficult. It's a hard place to be in life, and as Christians, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, as a Christian, you're not going to get depressed, you're not going to get lonely, you're not going to feel down at times, you're not going to feel weak, because we will, and we all do. And I'm not going to lie and say that I don't feel strong at times, because there are times I'm strong and there are times I'm weak. But as I have to remember, in my weakness, He is made strong, and He will strengthen me, for the joy of the Lord is my strength. So, I try to remember the positive aspects of God and what He has done thus far. So, I pray to kind of bring myself out of that depression state. Back to the street. And the spiritual consequences of premarital sex is like the spiritual union. That's like two spirits are being united, creating a soul tie. Now, what is a soul tie? Soul ties are emotional bonds that form an attachment. They may be godly or ungodly, pure or demonic. That's a whole other ball game. And when we use the term, it usually means that in the spirit realm, our souls are united to someone else. Most commonly, soul ties are seen to develop in sexual relations, right? And soul ties, so like when I read that, it brought back to something I said earlier in the video, is that it's two souls being married together as one. See, so you're giving that person a piece of your soul, and that person is giving you a piece of their soul. And if you're doing it outside of marriage, when you go out and you have sex with someone else, you're now taking a piece of that person's soul. So little as you go along, you're just taking souls and you're gathering souls, and you're emptying out yourself but gathering other souls in you. And eventually you're going to reach a place where you might feel a little empty. You might feel like your self-esteem may drop. You may feel like worthless. You may feel like you're not worth anything, and that's because your soul now has been contaminated with other soul ties that have not been broken, because you left the relation but you still have a attachment to that person. So I'm not gonna go too deep in that. If you guys want me to go deep into that, to let me know. I will do another video on this. Maybe I might do a part 2, because if you guys have more questions that you need answered, like if you want to send me questions, send me, and I will do another video on this, answering those questions, because I'm not saying that I'm the most knowledgeable, but I have learned from hearing people speaking. I've been learning from my mentor. I've been learning from sermons and listening to people speak on it, because it's something that I struggle with. I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with it. It's sex, people, and I'm not having it. So, and I don't want to entertain the thought of having it until I'm married. So I stay clear of situations where I can easily get tempted. I guess that's why I don't really go nowhere. Yeah, so I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. Oh my god, sorry. I just want to thank you guys for watching this video, and if you have any questions, comment it down below. I will get back to them and do it in another video. Stay tuned next week. I'm coming with another part for this series, or I might do something else, I'm not sure yet. And yes, let me know if you like this video. Like, comment, share, and help. Let's invite more people to our family. Let's invite more people to this. I am not the best YouTuber I can say, but I'm just me. So I am Melanie Ramdeen. Thank you for watching. I pray that this blessed you. I pray that it answered some of your questions, and I hope to let you know that you're not alone. And having urges is okay, but if you really want to like know how to deal with it, just follow the simple 8 rules that I do, and trust me, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. If it's working for me, I know it will work for you too. So be blessed, stay blessed, be strong and courageous. I love you, God loves you. Bye.